Headlines tonight. Reverend Father Franklin Bayong, priest of the Diocese of Buea, defends a degree this day from Biaka University Institute of Buea on the spiritual care of patients, especially those with terminal diseases. Catholic School Success sent out 49 pupils in a graduation ceremony that took place at the campus of the school earlier today. And today is International Day for the Awareness of Sickle Cell Disease. In tonight's newscast, we explore the causes and preventive measures of sickle cell. These are our headlines. The details of these stories and more in the minutes ahead with you. Good evening to you all, dear viewers. Huge thanks for joining us on Thursday's edition of Divine Mercy Prime. I am Sama Eileen. This day for presentation. We begin with one of our lead stories. Spiritual care for patients, especially those with terminal diseases, is paramount as the healing process has to be holistic, curing both body, mind, and spirit. Sadly, this practice is scarce in the health sector in Cameroon, reasons why Reverend Father Franklin Bayong, parish priest of Divine Mercy Co-Cathedral Moliko Buea, defended during his Bachelor of Science defense at the Biaka University Institute of Buea at the School of Health Sciences, focused on the spiritual care to patients and sampled the opinions of health practitioners. Aloysius Lekie was part of today's defense at Biaka University. His report.
Majority of research carried out in the field of health sciences usually have to do with illnesses, diseases, and treatment, but scarcely on the spiritual aspect of healing or the love and care shown to patients first as human beings and as children of God. Reverend Father Frank Bayong, in thinking out of the box and with his priestly background during his degree defense at the Biaka University Institute of Buea in the School of Health Sciences, settled on the topic that centers on the role of spirituality in current medical practices in Buea Regional Hospital, evaluating the knowledge, attitudes, and practices of nurses towards giving that spiritual touch to their work as caregivers in hospitals. The choice of the topic was well appreciated by the jury, who confirmed that this is an area that most people don't research on, and appreciates his interest in the spiritual care in the health sector. After the defense, where he showed a lot of mastery of the subject matter, Father Franklin Bayong throws more light on the choice of the topic and how relevant it will be for the health sector in the nation.
I did my internship at the Buea Regional Hospital, and I realized that there were lots of terminal patients, diabetics, hypertensive, HIV, and the rest. And I felt that, according to the definition of WHO, that health is supposed to be holistic. It's not only about treating the physical symptoms, but then the social, the psychological, the spiritual, they have to be taken into consideration. And that is, I've discovered that a lot of our medical institutions, they focus mostly on the physical. They do not focus on the spiritual. And that is why I said, let me give you another dimension so that we can be able to look at the spiritual as well. And that is the reason why at the end of it, one of my recommendations, I've recommended to the Ministry of Public Health that in the curriculum they should insert in the curriculum the spiritual care of patients. In Biaka Institute here, but also in other schools, you see that here on Tuesdays where we have mass, we have church services, the other churches, students are running out. So you cannot give what you don't have. So lots of nurses feel that it's only to inject, it's only to put IV line, it's only to know, but they don't know that they have a lot to play when it comes to spirituality. And that is what I'm trying to put across in this my research paper, that the nurses themselves have to be holistic in order to be able to give a holistic approach to sickness.
as parish priest of Divine Mercy Co-Cathedral Parish, Moliko, Father Franklin Bayong, defending on spiritual aspects in current medical practices, is speaking out of experience as he is also the spiritual father to his Christians, reason why they accompanied him during his defense and appreciate his research topic.
Defense of our parish priest, Father Bayong. We just ended the session. I find the topic that includes spiritual aspects in medical care very important, because this is an aspect that has been neglected or is most often neglected. People care about how people feel physically, but they do not look at the end of these patients. The fact that he has introduced this spiritual aspect is going to go a long way to prepare the patients for their end journey, which is something we cannot avoid. We all are supposed to be set and know that one day we are going to leave this earth, especially for terminally ill patients.
With the health, what they call spiritual health care, that is really lacking in most hospitals, because we have people who have some terminal diseases, and the nurses tend to abandon them. At least they need to give them that spiritual care to prepare them that it may not be the end. Instead, we aim to give them more days to their life. Yeah. And the defense itself was good, because he really mastered it, showing that he prepared it.
He expressed words of gratitude to the Chief Shepherd of Boyo, Bishop Michael Bibi, and the family and friends who have all been supportive throughout this journey.
The evaluation of the defense, of course, as you yourself saw, it was very tough, but I thank God that I was able to see it through. And in a special way, I would like to thank the bishop who decided to send me. I already did HND. Now I've graduated with a degree in nursing. I'm looking forward to beginning masters in nursing. I really want to thank him in a special way, Bishop Michael Bibi, for deciding to send me to do this. And I think that is going to be a wonderful asset to the diocese. I also want to thank my family, thank my father in a very special way, who was not able to be here because he's sick and he's in Douala, Paratebo Church. I want to also thank in a very, very, very special way my Christians. You can see my Christians are here. Dr. Ewang is here. You can see Pastor Sango is here. You can see my friend also, Brother Boniface and Father Lucien. And I also have people from Ikata who have come to support me in this giant project. So I thank them very much, and I pray that God will take them back home safely.
Father Frank Bayong, now a certified nurse, gives many recommendations, some of which are the state should add in the curriculum in the field of medicine, spiritual care, so that nurses and doctors will not only focus on money and physical, but go deeper and heal both the body, the mind, and the soul of those they encounter daily.
In other education news, 49 Class 6 pupils of St. Mary Catholic Nursery and Primary School Sase have been sent out with calls for the young learners to uphold the values instilled in them by the school. This was during their graduation ceremony today, Thursday, June 19, permitting them to transition to the secondary level in their academic journey following a commendable performance in their recent public examinations. Hilarion Tukov was there and now reports.
Graduation day at St. Mary Catholic Nursery and Primary School in Sase. This Thursday, June 19, 2025, 49 pupils take the vow to uphold the values instilled in them during their time at the school.
We, the people of Sase, promise to be good citizens wherever we find ourselves. We promise to keep the school flag higher, forward ever, backward never. I am from CNPSSA. I'm so happy because today these are memories that I can never ever forget. Graduating with my classmates, and as for the ones that are not here, I can still remember them through my testimonial. And I also pray that when I leave this school, I shall study very hard and come back with good results, more things for the school like benches, one set of computers.
After completing their basic academic journey, this 2025, the pupils' academic records reflect positively on their achievements. They scored a remarkable 100% in both the technical and grammar common entrance examinations. Their head teacher, Madame Prudencia, confirms the quality of the result and the success of the pupils.
I'm happy because the children themselves have made me to be happy. Following their results, their performances in the whole year, the whole academic year, I'm just so impressed because in common entrance grammar, they sat 22 pupils, passed 22, all in list A, scoring a percentage of 100%. Then in our technical, they sat 27, passed 27, all in list A, having 100% also. And I think that in first school, as usual, I know they are still to make it. They are still to make that 100% because I'm proud of the children because of their studies.
Founded in 1964, St. Mary Catholic Nursery and Primary School provides holistic education for pupils just like these 49 Class 6 pupils who now transition to secondary school. The class council chairman encourages the pupils to continue embodying the good values they have learned at St. Mary Catholic School.
One, they should be obedient, listen to their parents at home, and then they will become good children. And they should not forget about the background of religion, where you are coming from. Let us continue with this aspect of religion. They keep on to go for morning mass every day to perfect their spiritual life. They should go to Catholic school because when they go to Catholic school, the background that they have in Catholic school, they will mold them up where they should not only sit down and let the parent cry that they don't have money. They should struggle because they are struggling with the children's future.
The head teacher emphasizes that teamwork has been the key to the success of the graduating pupils, a concept supported by what she terms Operation Leave No One Behind.
It's not only the pupils alone, but I think the effort of the teachers in this school and the team spirit that we have in this school, because we have a team spirit of Operation No Child Left Behind and Operation No Teacher Left Behind. So this makes us at least to really work as a team, because when we see somebody dropping, we just try to fill that gap across.
As the only Catholic nursery and primary school in the neighborhood, the value of Catholic education is reflected in the school's academic performance, particularly proven by the achievements of the graduating class of 2025 during the common entrance examination.
Congratulations to the pupils of St. Mary Catholic School, Sase. Now, moving on, St. Charles Lwanga Parish Moliko, like other parishes in the Diocese of Buea, has embarked on a major renovation project. This project, which is to take on 3 phases, is to revitalize the church vicinity. Nadej made a stop at the St. Charles Lwanga Parish and compiled this report.
St. Charles Lwanga Parish in Moliko, Buea has embarked on a major renovation project with strong support from its parishioners. The initiative, which was launched recently, is being spearheaded by the parish priest Reverend Father Maxwell Ewang with the support of the project committee chairperson Justice Chibili Maureen and the parish pastoral chairperson Jinjong Maxellus, with a vision to revitalize the church compound and enrich the spiritual atmosphere. The renovation is set to unfold in 3 phases.
We are currently trying to extend the church. The project is actually divided into 3 phases. We're actually on the first phase, and the first phase involves the getting the foundation ready. Then we mount the pillars. After the pillars, we try to extend it inside by doing a loft. After that, the second phase will entail establishing a new roof. We do a new ceiling, a new roof. Then the third phase will actually involve trying to do some internal decoration, the windows and all of that. So those are the three phases of the church which we are currently working on.
He further explained that the renovation will not only enhance the beauty of the church, but also provide a more welcoming and inspiring environment for Christians who come from far and near, fostering a sense of belonging and community among its members.
As you can see, we are a roadside parish, and every day the parish is growing. We have Christians from all over Boya who come to worship with us here. First, our proximity to the main tarmac attracts Christians from all over, like I've said before. So because of that, we see the need to extend the church, make it more comfortable. You know, the house of God is actually supposed to be very beautiful for its worshippers, and that is the idea behind it, that we make it more beautiful, more attractive to the Christians of St. Charles Lwanga.
The parish pastoral chairperson also emphasized that while there is no fixed timeline for the project's completion, the stakeholders are committed to seeing it through with diligence and dedication.
We are believing that we cannot really be very definite as to when we are going to finish the project, but for now we just consider that it's an ongoing project at the level of St. Charles Lwanga. And we all the stakeholders at the level of the parish, we are focusing all our efforts on it, and we hope that not long from now we'll go through it.
As the renovation efforts begin to take shape, excitement continues to grow among the Christian community, eager to witness the transformation of their church.
Let's now talk health. World Sickle Cell Day, commemorated annually on the 19th of June, is instituted by the United Nations General Assembly in 2008 in order to increase the awareness of sickle cell disease and its care among the public. Sickle cell is a genetic red blood cell disorder, and the International Awareness Day is observed with the goal to increase public knowledge about the causes, risk factors, and preventive methods of sickle cell disease. Magdalene Wundo spoke with the health personnel at the Mount Mary Hospital and compiled the next report.
As Cameroon joins the international community to commemorate World Sickle Cell Awareness Day, dedicated to educating the public about sickle cell disease, a serious and lifelong genetic blood disorder affecting millions worldwide. In order to reduce the 34% of children who die before the age of 5 in Cameroon, is a constant aspiration of health practitioners that promote the screening and management of sickle cell disease. Though the cause of sickle cell is unknown, it could be hereditary. Taco Stephanie is a nurse at Mount Mary Hospital.
A normal red blood cell has a shape it has a round and a flat shape with a depression at the center of the red blood cell. But then when it comes to sickle cell, it has the shape of a half moon. So that's one particular thing that causes an individual to suffer from red blood from sickle cell disease. One parent is having a gene of sickle cell, the child is likely to be a carrier of that disease, not a sickler. But if both parents have the trait, that child is possibly going to be a sickler of. When a patient approaches us in the hospital, we don't just receive them, we assess them, and from the assessment we can know, because some patients who suffer from sickle cell disease, they have limited growth. That means they don't grow and develop appropriately. Some of them have yellowish eyes, yellowish skins, and discolorations.
Sickle cell disease statistics also reveal that 8,000 children in Cameroon are born each year with sickle cell disease, a disease experts believe can be reduced to nothing if couples make sure they are compatible before bearing children, as well as go in for their kids' early diagnosis in order to stop the pain, stress, and stigma which sickle cell patients are subjected to.
Go for pre-conception counseling, because in the course of pre-conception counseling, you are going to be screened of all genetic disease that can be inherited by your children, including sickle cell. So if you come and as a couple they do the screening, they are going to do HB electrophoresis, which is a common genotype test.
Though the myth surrounding the disease is a killer disease, every sickle cell patient has a maximum lifespan.
Sickle cell have always been known to be a killer disease. That means many people are not able to attain a certain age. Like when we were young, we always hear that people who have sickle cell will not live up to the age of 20. But then, with research and so many interventions, it has proven us wrong. People suffering from sickle cell disease can attain maximum lifespan as every other person.
The theme for 2025 Global Action Local Impact, Empowering Communities for Effective Self-Advocacy, underscores the importance of community-driven initiatives and global solidarity in combating sickle cell disease.
Meanwhile, the International Day for Countering Hate Speech is observed every 18th June. This year's event is celebrated under the theme Hate Speech and Artificial Intelligence Nexus, Building Coalitions to Reclaim Inclusive and Safe Environments Free of Hatred. The goal is to foster cross-sector coalitions with the governments, tech companies, civil societies, and individuals on how to use AI responsibly, ensuring it promotes safety, inclusion, and human rights rather than enabling hatred. Once again, Magdalene Undo.
Hate speech, according to the United Nations Organization, has become one of the most common ways of spreading decisive rhetoric on global scale, threatening peace around the world as it incites violence and intolerance, ethnic and social discrimination, tribalism, calls for insurgency, stigmatization, disclaims gender violence and violence against minorities constitute indicators of online hate speech in Cameroon. The UN Digital Technology expert laid emphasis on how technology affects hate speech and how to make full use of them.
Today's concerns about AI magnifying hate speech are legitimate but not new. Echoes of these concerns can be found throughout history with the introduction of radio, television, social media, and even as far back as Gutenberg's printing press. What's new, however, is the scale, potential audience, and more importantly, the capacity for AI to automatically generate hate speech. Legislation should strive to balance the right to freedom of expression and to hold opinions without interference with the principle of equality and non-discrimination. Tackling hate speech should not mean suppressing content we disagree with. Conversely, AI can also assist in tackling hate speech through the automatic detection and removal of hateful online content. AI systems based on natural language processing and sentiment analysis can automatically recognize offensive online content and take appropriate action.
The spread of messages online can lead to bitterness, contempt, and hostility. Hate speech and offensive language, mostly disseminated on social media platforms, can go a long way to creating endless grudges. The UN digital expert also outlined ways to counter hate speech.
In the compact, they agreed to strengthen international cooperation to address hate speech, misinformation, and disinformation. They also called on tech companies and developers to create solutions to counter hate speech. For AI, these include authenticity certification, labeling, and watermarking.
Though freedom of expression is a right of every individual, it should be accompanied with an obligation of responsibility and the power that be as to adopt strong policies in order to fully control the cyberspace and to guarantee peace and security around the country. As sensitization against hate speech continues, the spread of counter speech is encouraged to ensure that hate is not the dominant narrative. It is a stitch in time with the objective to undermine hurtful content with positive messages that spread tolerance, equity, and truth in defense of the targets of hate speech.
Onto our foreign page, a peace agreement between Congo and Rwanda will be signed on the 27th of June. The move aims at ending fighting in eastern Congo backed by Rwanda M23 rebels. Plus, a twice-in-a-year shot to prevent HIV has been approved by America in an anticipated global rollout that could protect millions. The medication known as lenacapavir will limit the spread of HIV and protect persons at high risk better than the preventive pills. These stories and more have been compiled in the following report.
Rwanda and Congo are poised to sign a peace agreement in Washington on June 27. A joint press release from the nations and the U.S. State Department said Wednesday, June 18. Both countries have agreed to the terms of the deal aimed at ending fighting in eastern Congo. However, Congo has accused Rwanda of backing M23 rebels in the east of the country. United Nations experts say the rebels are supported by about 4,000 troops from the neighboring nation. The decades-long conflict escalated in January when the M23 rebels advanced and seized the strategic Congolese city of Goma, followed by the town of Bukavu in February. The draft agreement includes provisions on respect for territorial integrity and a prohibition of hostilities, disengagement, disarmament, and conditional integration of non-state armed groups, the joint statement said. The agreement that will be signed also includes a commitment to respecting territorial integrity and the conditional integration of non-state armed groups. Elsewhere, the U.S. has approved the world's only twice-a-year shot to prevent HIV, Gilead Sciences announced on Wednesday. It is the first step in an anticipated global rollout that could protect millions, although it is unclear how many in the United States and abroad will get access to the powerful new option. While a vaccine to prevent HIV is still needed, some experts say the shot, a drug called lenacapavir, could be the next best thing. Also, medics say it nearly eliminated new infections in 2 groundbreaking studies of people at high risk, better than daily preventive pills they can forget to take.
So these were 2 amazing studies with amazing data that basically shows 100% prevention of transmission in the majority of the population.
The regular usage of preventive medicines such as the daily pills or a different shot given every 2 months is increasingly important. Lenacapavir's 6-month protection makes it the largest lasting type, an option that could attract people wary of more frequent doctor visits or stigma from daily pills.
Lenacapavir is important to me because it allows me to only have to go to the doctor twice, and I feel fully protected from getting HIV no matter if my partner is living with HIV or not.
Over to the UAE, where the first ever Global South Economic Forum was held from Monday to Tuesday in Abu Dhabi, the capital city of the United Arab Emirates. It brought together nearly 100 policymakers, scholars, and think tankers from over 20 developing nations to address the most pressing issues facing the Global South and to promote a more equitable and inclusive global economic order. The Global South now accounts for 85% of the world's population and over 40% of global GDP, becoming an important engine of global economic growth and showing great potential in terms of resource endowment, market size, and industrial upgrading.
The world is on a new economic world order is setting up now. We are on the cusp of change. And I think now Global South has enough voice that we can come together collectively and make our own decisions. So far, I think we have been ruled by G7, or you can say the Western world, but now things are changing, and they are changing very fast.
According to the organizers, the Global South Economic Forum was especially held at the same time as the G7 summit to convey the voice of developing countries to the world, emphasize the need to reform the international economic governance system, and promote multilateralism.
We wrap up this edition from that foreign news, but before we go, a reminder of our top stories. It is in this newscast you heard that Reverend Father Franklin Bayong, priest of the Diocese of Boya, defends a degree this day from Biaka University Institute of Boya on the spiritual care of patients, especially those with terminal diseases. Plus, Catholic School Sase sends out 49 pupils in a graduation ceremony that took place at the campus of the school earlier today. And today is International Day for the Awareness of Sickle Cell Disease. In this newscast, you learned about the causes, preventive measures, risk factors, amongst others. Many thanks for viewing, dear viewers. I have been Samaidin for presentation, beckoning on you all to keep it locked down on Divine Mercy Radio Television. Up next is Mountain Echoes. I'll be right here once more tomorrow for the last edition of Divine Mercy Prime at exactly 7 p.m. while Magdalene Wondo picks up the news at 7:30 a.m. Stay blessed.